let's actually just go around and introduce ourselves. So myself, I've met all of you. So Coach Tim Campso, run a local business coaching franchise here in Indiana.
I'm Todd Reimer. I'm co-owner and CEO of a local consultative and strategic marketing company based out of Anderson, Indiana, and I live in Noblesville.
So Real Wellness Coaching, and I was able to switch almost everything to virtual in my business. So I'm still working.
You know, at a pharmacy, you guys understand, and I'm sure you guys have filled a prescription at some point in your life. You know, people have refills. So for now, I mean, you know, they're filling their refills, but many doctors are not seeing as many patients as they used to. So sooner or later, it's going to hit.
I'm going to jump in here and just share I kind of put together a little bit of an agenda based off of last week's conversation. So I'm going to do a little very quick mini education, provide some tips, things for us to think about. Then we'll go to the open mic where we're just sharing, you know, challenges that we're having or questions that we have or things that we're seeing happening in the marketplace that we think would be valuable to others. Then I've got some offers of ways that I can be of service to you guys, and then we'll talk about next steps. How does that sound?
Sounds great, Tim.
Okay. So this will be a reminder, but I think it's an important reminder for us to continue to focus on every week, and that's where our mindset is. The idea of the point of power, you know, whether we're below the point of power, like finding ourselves, you know, stuck in bed, the blame, excuses, and denial, right? If we're feeling like, hey, there's nothing that we can do because this economic crisis has completely halted our business and we just need to wait it out, right? And blaming and saying we're just powerless over this situation. Or, you know, are we doing things to own our situation, right? Taking the oar of our life and of our business and charting our course. And that certainly is going to look very differently today than it did 30 days ago. But what are we doing from an ownership, accountability, and responsibility standpoint to help our business to survive through the next 30, 60 days and then set it up to thrive coming out of this? So we either have a daily choice to be powerless, right, and say there's nothing that we can do, or to say, no, we're going to be powerful and we're going to take responsibility here and try to figure out how to survive through this crisis. From a time standpoint, working from home, being social distanced and isolated can be very overwhelming, and we can find ourselves focusing on the wrong things. So there's really 4 different buckets of areas that we can spend our time on, and this is based off of the Eisenhower matrix. So the first is tasks that are not urgent and not important, and these can be called distractions. So they may feel like there's something that we need to take care of because they come across potentially, you know, as something that's easy to just take care of, like an email, right, or a phone call. But we need to have discernment here and make sure that we're not allowing it to overwhelm our day. So the thought and the recommendation here is that we should only be spending about 10% of our time. The second area are things that are urgent but not important. So these are the emergencies or the fire drills that often come up that feels like it's something that we have to jump on. But if we are able to step back from it and really understand what that activity is, in a lot of cases, those are not really important. So these can be summed up as delusions. And again, we should only be focusing about 10% of our time here. The next circle is urgent and important. So these are actually things that we should be focusing our time on, right? Because they are important to our business. They are things that are urgent. These are things like a client or a customer calling, then wants to, you know, has an issue with their order or wants to place an order. These are things that we should be prioritizing. So this should take up about 60% of our time in a day-to-day basis. And then the middle circle, the bullseye, these are activities that aren't urgent, but they're important. Okay? And these are the things that are us working on our business. So they're not urgent because they're not going to affect this week, But if we don't work on them, they're going to affect next month or 3 months from now. And these are often the things that we don't focus on because it doesn't come up in our day-to-day. And we have to be very specific in terms of blocking time on our calendar to work on our business. So one of the things I recommend to folks is to do a time study. Look through the activities that you're doing on a weekly basis and start to get an idea of where are you focusing your time, and is it matching to the percentages that are on this page. I've also, Action Coach in general has done these presentations, these seminars of the 11 steps that we all need to be focusing on to prepare our business to get through this crisis. So I thought I would just, in each of these Friday meetings, just talk about one of them. So the first one is positive communication. Right? Things like, what is our vision and our goals for our business over the next 30 and 60 days? And are we making sure that we're communicating that to our folks, right? To our employees, to our stakeholders, to our customers, to our clients, and all with a positive perspective of, we are going to get through this, right? This is an opportunity for our business, right? We are going to have to pivot and do things differently, but I, the owner, do have a vision of how we're going to get through this. And here are the things that I need from everyone in order to get there. You guys need to, us, me included, we all need to be passionate and enthusiastic of, have a can-do attitude of, we're going to survive. Now, there may be things that have to change and we have to pivot and alter, but we're definitely going to get through this, and be excited about the things that you're doing. I communicated this last week, I believe, and that is have goals that you can celebrate, or wins that you can celebrate throughout the week. Right? Maybe there's daily things that you've achieved that you can just have a little pause and celebrate it with your team. If you're a solopreneur, with your significant other, reach out to a friend. Just make sure that you're having those little wins and celebrations throughout the week to keep yourself going. The goal should be, obviously, that we're going to survive through this, right? For sure. But we also want to be taking this time to become stronger, right? There's many things that when the business was doing well, that we've probably swept under the rug, right? Problems or challenges that's like, hey, this isn't really that big a deal, so let's just sweep it under the rug. And in a healthy economy, it was easy for the business to absorb those things. In a down economy, those are things that we want to be addressing. So take this time to brainstorm what were those problems, and set yourself up to become stronger by solving them now, so that when we get through the crisis, we come out on the other end and able to thrive. And then from a communication standpoint, you need to make sure that everybody's involved in that communication, whether it's a weekly Zoom call or a daily Zoom call. Make sure that your people feel like they're part of the team. Make sure that they feel like you've got their best interests in mind. But also be honest that your goal is to make sure the business survives through this crisis time. And so you may have to make decisions that are tough in order to get to survival mode. But the most important thing is that your business is still here in 90 days, because then you're able to build and take care of more employees, right? Versus if our business isn't here in 90 days, it doesn't matter if we kept an extra couple employees on, right? And so each of you are going to have to figure out what's the right thing for your business, but the most important goal should be to make sure that you're surviving through this. All right, so that was my little education moment, and want to open it up to anyone, folks who have questions or things that you guys are seeing in the marketplace that you'd like to share to benefit the rest of us.
Tim, how do you feel about putting that bullseye back up while we're answering this question? Thank you.
Not urgent and not important.
So as I was talking about this earlier, I mentioned a time study. So the idea of that time study is over a 2-week period, you just on a spreadsheet or on a piece of paper, every hour you jot down, or every half hour you jot down, what are you doing? So if you can imagine, you have Monday and it says 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, and you just, for 2 weeks, you track what activities are you doing during those timelines. And then at the end, you can add all those different buckets together and say, oh, look, I spent 10% of my time this week on non-essential phone calls, or reading emails, that junk email, or surfing LinkedIn, or whatever that is, right? And you can bucket those all together and say, oh, wow, I didn't realize that I'm spending 30% of my time on distractions, not urgent and not important activities, or I didn't realize that my staff keeps coming to me with these urgent, what they claim are urgent activities, but I now realize aren't important, and I'm spending 40% of my time doing that. So when clients go through this exercise, they have a real aha moment of, well, no wonder I'm not able to work on my business, because I'm getting pulled into all of these non-essential things. The other thing that this will do is it helps point out, well, maybe that activity is important, but it's not at my pay grade. Meaning, wow, I'm doing this paperwork that I could be paying an administrative assistant to do at X dollars an hour, and my bill rate is Y dollars an hour. And so if I was to delegate that or outsource it, it would free me up to be doing more business development activities, right? That's going to benefit my business. Now, of course, during this point in time, right, we all have extra time. And so it may be possible that we do focus on some of these non-important activities, or things that an administrative assistant could do just because we have extra time. But what I coach people on is all the extra time that you have right now should be planning for the future and business development activities. Absolutely, this can be applied to personal as well.
You pick it up. Go ahead and call them, and then they will get you.
Because we can't separate our personal and our business lives, right? As much as we sometimes like to, right? It's much easier when we have an office to go to, and right, but when we're all working from our homes, it blends together even more. So, So yes, this absolutely applies to our personal life as well. And right, there are things that we can't control. So the other thing is the circle of influence versus the circle of concern. If you've heard of that before, I can't remember the author. It might be Stephen Covey.
It is.
So the idea is, there are a lot of things that concern us in life, and we need to differentiate between, of those things that concern us, which things can we actually control. And so focus on the things that we can control. If you are a believer, right, the idea there is let go and let God, right? There's certain things that we just can't control, and we need to focus on the things that we can. So during this crisis, it's, write out a list of what things can we control, both in our personal life and our professional life, and the things that we can't, we just let go of those and trust that they're gonna be taken care of. So then, wanted to share some offers that I'm doing that you may want to take advantage of. These are all complimentary. Just my way to help give back, and kind of my mantra is no business left behind. So I want to make sure that I'm able to help folks get through this as much as possible. So I was doing a 45-minute mini planning session. I bumped that up to an hour to make sure that we've got adequate time. So this is whatever you want to talk about. I've got a number of questions that I asked through that call to really understand where you're at and give you some thoughts and tips on ways to move forward. And it's really for folks who, they're just not sure what to do, and they want an ear to talk to and some guidance and direction. The next one, complimentary 6 Steps to a Better Business seminar. So if Renee, you've been to this, my 6 steps to, my monthly live seminars, I've turned it into virtual. So this is my pivot to allow me to continue to have my my process. And then finally is a 2-hour complimentary coaching session. And this one is a deep dive into your business. So it starts with a questionnaire that you fill out ahead of time. I jump on a quick call with you with any clarifying questions, and then we get together virtually for 2 hours, dig into your business. I'm going to ask a lot of questions to understand, where you are today, what challenges you have, identify opportunities. It's also a way to show the Action Coach model and how our methodologies and processes would help your business. And then the ultimate goal is for you to decide if coaching is right for you, and if it's something that you feel would help you take your business to the next level. And so we decide that together through those 2 hours. So if you're interested in any of these, please reach out to me. My contact information is there. You guys all have my email as well. So let me know if there's any ways that I can help you. The most important thing for all of us is to not stick our head in the sand, right? And hope that this all passes by in a couple weeks. I think in the first week or so, we might have all been doing that and hoping that it was going to be fast. And now it looks like it's going to be a couple months at least. And so we need to be pivoting and figuring out, like you guys have already been sharing, figuring out how to make sure that we can survive through this period by pivoting our business. And again, if any of those planning offers are something that would benefit you, please let me know. So then the last thing here is at Action Coach, we're all about taking action. So here's what I would suggest is your homework. It is from today's conversation, write out 5 ideas that you need to take action on today, and build that into your next week's homework. If you haven't started your 90 days business survival plan, make sure that you are working on that. And then we'll end this session like we did last time with our WIFL, which is what I feel like expressing. All right, Sina. So
I'll try to bring some positivity. I didn't sound very positive when I talked, but
Yes,
I'll try to end with a positive note. So, at the end of the day, I was never a material guy. So, but I believe in putting like a good fight. I believe in fighting the good fight. If you have a good cause, everything, if you're a believer, God, whatever you believe in, is going to be on your side. If you fight the good fight, you're going to get good results. And when this is all over, regardless of what happens, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I gave it all that I had, that I could do. There's some things that are outside of our control. Obviously, this problem is a huge problem. And whatever course our business takes is none of our mistake. This is something that's happening to everyone. You're not alone. Everybody in this world, actually, 151 countries in the world impacted by this virus. So we're gonna fight the good fight. Be supportive. Be kind. I'm gonna try to be kind to others, and whatever I can do, I'm gonna try to do. And then you got to do something. I can't sit and do nothing. I can't cry about it. We're going to do the best we can and hope for the best. And I'm just going to, and I think the higher power is on our side.
Yes.
That's what I want to add.
Yes. I agree.
Thank you, Sina.
And the universe, God, the law of attraction brought all these positive people together again. It's good to see you again. So.
Yeah, likewise.
So what I feel like expressing is gratitude for you three. So it was very funny. I started the webinar and nobody was on at 4 or at 1, and I was like, oh no. I guess nobody's getting value out of this. And then what I realized throughout this conversation is I needed this probably more so than you three did. And I just appreciate your transparency and your vulnerability and sharing from your heart. And it means a lot to me. And I wish you all incredible success over the next week. And please, if there's anything I can do, like you, I've got extra time. So please feel free to reach out. I'd happy to jump on a call or on another Zoom and just help encourage and support one another.
But Tim, Tim, I do want to share something encouraging that has nothing to do with the virus or what we're going through, but I really do. I mean, I'm more or less coming on this call every week as long as you're having it, because I do want to meet other people. I had, I'm hoping that maybe I'll get to talk to Sina someday. I got to meet, Renee last week because of this, and we're encouraging and supporting one another. And honestly, Tim, also, I want to get on here and just continue to learn. I'm not looking to come on these calls and walk away with a golden nugget or a golden ticket, but to be with other professionals. And honestly, Tim, you are by far I subscribe to a lot of things, and a lot of people are helping right now. But man, you are a great, fantastic, remarkable, amazing resource right now for business owners. So I really appreciate all you're doing.
Thank you.
I agree.
Okay.
Do you have something that?
No, have you guys all heard the saying? I'll give my disclaimer. English is my second language, so.
Yes.
Sometimes third.
English is my first and second language. I'm really good.
All of your languages, right? They're all of your languages.
Yes.
They say good time creates bad times, and then bad times create good times.
That's right.
So that's a saying, right? That's a real thing.
That's awesome.
Say it in the language that it's original.
No, it's English.
Yeah,
I've heard it in English. Yeah. So what's coming?
Right.
Something great.
Yeah.
We always say when things are great, we know at some point it can't stay great forever.
Yeah.
The flip side of that, Sina, is that when things are bad, it can't stay bad forever, right? So I agree with you on that. And I can tell you what, I'll add to that, Sina. I appreciate you saying that. It's amazing. I really thought that I worked hard and really did all that I needed to do for my business. I didn't realize until these last 3 weeks what I'm really capable of. I didn't realize how centered I needed to be. I didn't realize how much more, I have come to realize that I am capable of so much more than I was before. Mm-hmm. And that's been I just realized that yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was really working hard. I could actually work harder. And I'm not at this rate every day all the time, but there is so much more I could be doing for my business. And I just cannot wait to what lies ahead, because I think I could be even more of an asset for my company than I ever was. Yeah. So I agree with you, Sina. It's not just the economy. It's not just opportunity, but this is an opportunity for us to refocus our personal lives. Yeah. This downtime has been wonderful for a lot of people. Spiritually and mentally and physically. And honestly, from a business perspective, I just can't wait to see what lies ahead. This has been a great opportunity for me to become a better version of who I am.
Awesome. Very good.
Perfect. So since we're tag team preaching, I think to sum it up for me is that we already coexist with what feels like pain and sadness and challenges and difficulty and joys and peace and love. And we already coexist with that every day. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's not, oh, now this is a bad time, this is a good time, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
It's it's coexisting at all times with, you get deep sadness over here, but great joy over here, blah, 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 blah. This, like Sina said, 151 countries. Is that what you said? This is the first time that the entire world at the same time has the same challenge and the same grief. That being said, those of us who were in position spiritually to center ourselves and to see the coexisting, we already had the skills to prioritize. And we were ready. We were in position to rise up and be an encouragement to others. We were already there, and we were just in the right place at the right time. And so you're right. I mean, it has been, what a unique opportunity to be able to sort the beauty and the pain. And it's really an altering time. And still the good is great.
And it all comes back to this slide, right? It's how we choose to deal with the situation, right? What is our mindset, right? Are we going to take this as an opportunity, or are we going to see it as, as a insurmountable obstacle that we can't get through? And what I'm hearing everyone say, and I'm encouraged by it, is this is an opportunity for us to think about our business differently, to think about our personal life differently, and to all rise to the challenge and say, I think Sina said this earlier, is like, I'm not giving up, right? I'm going to give it my all, and we're just going to figure out a way to get through this and come out the other end stronger. So I thank you all for your sharing today, and I wish you the best of week